Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. We are at the New Jersey Institute of Technology in the heart of Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, and two of the most significant leaders that this city and the state and this nation have are in the house. First, Ras Baraka, who is the mayor of the great city of Newark. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
And your colleague in this initiative we'll be talking about is Barry Ostrowsky, President and Chief Executive Officer, RWJBarnabas Health. Good to see you, Barry.
Same here. Thank you, Steve.
There are so many things we could talk about, but today, as we are here in Newark at NJIT, we're talking about a terrific initiative. It's a combination of hire, initiative called Hire Newark, but then there's Buy Newark and Live Newark. What is that, Mr. Mayor?
Well, Hire, Buy, Live is something we came up with in conjunction with New Jersey Institute of Social Justice, the Newark Alliance.
Ryan Haygood.
Ryan Haygood, great guy,
Best.
and Kim McLean at Newark Alliance. Trying to figure out how we get more Newarkers employed in the city of Newark. And how do we get the anchor institutions to begin to take some accountability for that and also get them to purchase more goods and services from the city with city vendors and city businesses. And finally, the live part is to try to really encourage their employees to choose Newark, to cast their buckets down in our city and
That's right.
make a life of it for themselves here.
And RWJBarnabas Health, a longtime funder of public broadcasting. Barry, you serve on the board of public broadcasting in the state. You're involved, RWJBarnabas Health, involved very much in the community, but why this initiative? Why particularly the Hire Newark piece?
Well, this blueprint that the mayor's laid out, and of course he's a charismatic, insightful leader of a great city, for us is our mission. Our mission is to make the localities in which we are located better, the lives of the people to be improved. And so when you look at Newark or any vulnerable population, economic development and the ability to sustain yourself in your neighborhood is critical. So for us, in order to recruit additional employees so that they have the security of a paycheck and they understand that there's a career path that they could follow, really gives them a less anxious lifestyle, and they can start to invest in the things that are important, their family and other aspects of life. So we've taken up the challenge that the mayor's laid out, and we will be hiring 350 additional Newark residents as employees at the Beth and within our
Newark
system.
Beth Israel?
Newark Beth Israel, which is on Lyons Avenue in the Beth.
Part of your system.
RWJBarnabas Health, and where I was born.
Born at the Beth.
Born at the Beth. So to us, this couldn't be a more perfect fit for our mission.
Mr. Mayor, what does that mean when an organization like this, one of the largest employers in the state, the largest employer, when they step up and do this, what does it mean?
It's tremendous, and kind of sets an example for what we think other corporations of this size should be doing socially and economically for themselves, for the state, for the city. It benefits everybody in the end. When the state's largest city is successful, the state itself is successful. I mean, and it also means that business and corporations in the state itself is also are also successful. So we think this is a great thing, and we been ecstatic with partnering with the Beth and St. Barnabas to make sure that this continues.
For those who may not understand the population in the city of Newark, those who are having certain challenges associated with achieving gainful employment, what are they, Mayor?
Well, first of all, Newark is a diverse kind of city, right? So there are many people in the city of Newark who are employed, who have college degrees, who are ready to get jobs immediately, and like any other city in America, you know. But there are also folks in the city who've had generational unemployment and have been underemployed and don't have, or people who have went to school and are trained, but are not trained in the areas where the jobs are growing, where the market
including
is,
healthcare,
where the market is having an upward kind of trend, and so they have to be. Some of them have to be retrained in those areas, given the proper and specific skills in order to succeed in those fields that are growing. And then others, we have to, get them ready, get them prepared for a city that is booming. And I think that is really, you can really put that anywhere in any state in this country.
It's a model.
Yeah.
Barry, let me ask you, we've talked about this online as well, and I've actually done a significant amount of leadership development within the RWJBarnabas Health system. And so I've met a lot of people connected to it. But the part of it that always fascinates me is how this initiative that we're talking about now is healthcare related. Explain to folks. It's a part of definition of healthcare.
It very much is. And, you know, there's health and there's health care. So historically, organizations like ours have provided health care services to those who are in need of those. But that isn't enough. I mean, the Beth has been in New York for over Newark over 100 years, and there's still problems. And so after you do the studies, what you find is there are social determinants of her bad health, that screening isn't going to make a difference, or necessarily an emergency department. And those social determinants are real. If you're without a job, if you're insecure about your food, if you have shelter that is unfortunately substandard, these are all parts of your life that will make you sick or frankly be a barrier to being well. And so we've decided that we ought to address those very social determinants in addition to developing and delivering high quality healthcare services. So, as I said, the blueprint that the mayor has laid out about employment and supporting local vendors and encouraging people to live in high-quality housing within the city fits perfectly with this social determinant investment practice that we've begun. Micheline Davis, our executive vice president, of course, has put this together and is leading the charge. And so I think we can make a big difference, not only treating sick people, but becoming involved in the daily lives of folks and trying to correct these social determinants that have such an impact.
Which is, in fact, Micheline was mentioned. Micheline actually serves on the board of the Caucus Educational Corporation, the not-for-profit production company that produces this and other programs on PBS affiliates and FiOS. But that's part of the larger social impact initiative. But Mayor, let me ask you this. Partnerships like this, which are a model, how many jobs again by 2020?
350 at least.
Does it, I mean pressure in a good way, does it put some healthy pressure on other organizations / corporations to step up and say, here's how I'm all in?
Well, I would say it gives them the confidence to do what they know is already should be done.
I mean the right thing.
Absolutely. So it's almost like you have a new market, and it takes pioneers to go in the market.
Who's
and say,
first?
I'm going to develop.
Right.
And then after that happens, everybody joins in and say, I want a piece of this. This thing is actually working. It's successful. So people come and become a part of that. And I think the Beth and St. Barnabas being a pioneer in this area helps us to convince other people that this is not only the right thing to do, that it can be successful as well.
But the collaboration piece is huge. Talk about that.
Absolutely. With the city of Newark and, with St. Barnabas, we're able to, create the kind of partnership where we are training Newark residents, where we're identifying Newark residents, and they're training them and then putting them to work. That kind of partnership is, something that we need in all areas of the city. I mean,
and mobilizes the community as well.
Sure, and it allows the community an opportunity to see that these industries in their city actually care about their well-being. And so they have a different view and perspective of these businesses in their community, and they look at them as a part of the community and not just folks that are taking space.
Sure. Barry, because you interact with healthcare CEOs and other CEOs from across the state and nation, the image of Newark, old question I know, has it changed in a positive way in the last few years?
It is changing.
And if so, how?
It is changing, and I'll tell you, Steve, that's an excellent point, because the truth of the matter is, those who live in Newark are, in fact, a wonderful labor pool. There's sadly some stigmatization to being a Newark resident. So this stigma of not wanting to recruit in Newark and not wanting to have these folks work in businesses in Newark is unfortunately inaccurate. I mean, Newark is a home of great educational facilities and a wonderful labor force. So for us, making this commitment is not that difficult because we have the folks with whom we can work. I think folks outside of Newark and outside of New Jersey are hearing about the real renaissance of Newark, the development, the idea that we have leadership in government that is going to make Newark again a great success as a municipality in the United States. And so when I speak to my colleagues in healthcare and I explain our social determinant practice, which will be based in Newark, they understand it readily. And what they really think is incredibly unique is the collaboration between a private organization like ours and the chief executive of the city. Our ability to speak with one another and our staffs to communicate with one another for a mutual goal if it's not unique, it's a minority across the country.
It's a model.
It is a model, and so I think out of that can come many initiatives that will benefit the people who live in Newark.
And finally, Mayor, we are at NJIT, an institution you know well. You've spoken here many times, and you have a great relationship with the president here, Joe Bloom, Dr. Bloom. We're here talking about innovation. This is innovative, what you're talking about right now.
Absolutely. It is kind of social innovation, economic innovation, give us the opportunity for upward mobility, particularly in a place where resources are decreasing and not increasing. It means that partnerships become that much more valuable.
Well, Mayor and Barry, I want to thank you for sharing news about a very important development that will be making more progress as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back from NJIT right after this.